US Space Agency NASA will train an Indian astronaut for a mission to the International Space Station by the end of 2024. So apart from this news article also contains an information about NISAR satellite. NISAR satellite, which is a joint effort from NASA and ISRO. And this translates to NASA-ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. So this is an Earth observation satellite which is expected to be launched in the first quarter of 2024, right? So now let's proceed to today's first MCQ. And now this is inspired. Now why we have taken this MCQ is that UPSC repeatedly asks questions regarding various space missions, as we have seen in previous year questions. So let's solve the first question, which says that which among the following space agencies are part of International Space Station ISS? Now before attempting this question, let us first know about International Space Station. So International Space Station is a habitable spacecraft. So basically this is an artificial satellite which was launched in the year 1998, and this satellite lies in the low Earth orbit. And low Earth orbits are those orbits which are closer to the Earth, and the altitude of low Earth orbits is generally around 160 kilometers to 1000 kilometers, roughly along this altitude. Okay, and if we talk about the location of International Space Station, it is located at roughly at an altitude of 430 kilometers in the low Earth orbit, right? And now the important aspect of International Space Station is that this is habitable, that is astronauts can live there and they can perform experiments in the microgravity environment presented in the International Space Station, right? And now if we talk about countries which make the collaborative part of International Space Station, ISS is primarily operated by the collaboration of 5 space agencies. These 5 space agencies are the Space Agency of US NASA, European Space Agency, the Space Agency of Canada CSA, the Space Agency of Japan JAXA, and Roscosmos, the Space Agency of Russia, right? And Russia in the previous year 2022 had stated that Russia is planning to exit from the International Space Station, but this will be only in the year 2028, right? And now this was all which you need to know about International Space Station. This was important. These were the important points. Now if we talk about this question, the question says that which among the following space agencies are part of International Space Station? The options are NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, and ISRO. Now as we saw that these countries are the part of ISS, and if we talk about ISRO is not a part of International Space Station. And if we talk about India presently do not have its own space station, and in this regard India is planning to make its own space station operational till the year 2035, right? So the correct answer to this question would be option A, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. Now let's move on to our second MCQ for the day. The second MCQ for today is inspired by this news article which appeared on page number 4 of The Hindu. The context of this news article is not important for you, and this is regarding a popular religious leader who was granted furlough. And now this term furlough is important for you. This is because UPSC in the year 2021 asked a question which was regarding the rules, the prisoners' rules, the rights related to prison rules, right? Now in this context, we have framed a question regarding parole and furlough. Now before answering this question, let us first understand what is parole and furlough. There is slight difference between these two terms. Parole and furlough basically are the rights which are given to prisoners, and these are the rights which are even mentioned in the Prisoners Act of 1896. In the Prisoners Act of 1894 and 1900, right? Besides it, these are also mentioned in CRPC. Now what is difference between parole and furlough? they guarantee some kind of, they both are a type of conditional release given to the prisoners, right? And this release, conditional release, means these are guaranteed on the basis of some conditions, which are also based on the disciplinary behavior of the prisoner, right? If the prisoner does a right conduct, and in that basis, the prisoner will be granted a temporary release from his prison time, right? So, if we talk about parole and furlough, both of these are temporary releases which are given to the prisoner, right? And what is the basic objective of these two rights? Parole is given for rehabilitation of the prisoner, and generally parole is given, one more important difference is that it is awarded when the prisoner was awarded a short term imprisonment, and furlough is granted in the case of long term imprisonment, right? So this is the basic difference, that these both are conditional releases and they both are temporary in nature, but parole is granted in term of short term imprisonment, okay, and furlough is granted in term of long term imprisonment. And in this case, the purpose in which parole is given is for rehabilitation of that prisoner by interacting with the society, right? Such that when he gets released from the prisoner, he can be rehabilitated or reintegrated into the society, okay? And what is the purpose of furlough? The purpose is to meet some social ties or some familial ties of that prisoner. For example, the prisoner may attend the wedding of his children or some other things, right? Or some family functions. And other thing is that furlough is comparatively flexible as compared to parole, because this is also given for long term imprisonment and based on some conditional release. So these are flexible conditions, and parole is bit rigid as compared to furlough, and this is given for some specific reason, and it is given for any specific reason, whereas furlough can be granted in a year periodically to any prisoner, okay? So these are the basic differences between these two terms. Now based on this data, let's solve our question for the day. The first statement says that parole is a conditional release while furlough is an unconditional release. So this statement becomes incorrect, as both of these are conditional release of the prisoners, right? The second statement says that parole envisages a long duration while furlough envisages a short-term temporary release from custody. Now this is also an incorrect statement, as both of these conditions are regarding the temporary release of the prisoners from custody, okay? The third statement says that parole is granted for a specific need while furlough is granted after serving a designated number of years without a cause. Now this is a correct statement, okay? So as the question asked, how many of the above statement is or are correct? The correct answer would be only one. Now let's move on to our third topic for the day, which was inspired with the MCQ is regarding Mullaperiyar Dam, and this is inspired by this news article. So this news article is regarding the construction of a car parking zone by Kerala in the vicinity of Mullaperiyar Dam, and which is being opposed by Tamil Nadu. And if you are aware, Mullaperiyar Dam is disputed between the states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and occasionally this is in news regarding the dispute between these two states, right? Now, why we have taken this question is that UPSC repeatedly asks questions regarding various projects, regarding various hydroelectric projects, regarding various rivers, and regarding various key geographical locations, okay? So as we can see the example in the year 2022. Now let's solve a question regarding Mullaperiyar Dam. Now before this, let's see some facts regarding Mullaperiyar Dam. Now Mullaperiyar Dam is among the oldest functional dams in India. It is around 127 years old, and this dam is, as we can see in map, this is the map of Kerala. So the dam is located in Kerala, right? And it is located in Kerala on the confluence of Mullaperiyar River and Periyar River, and hence the name Mullaperiyar. And Periyar River is the largest river, is the longest river in Kerala, right? So this dam is located in Kerala on the confluence of Mullaperiyar and Periyar river, but this dam is operated by Tamil Nadu, right? This is not operationalized by Kerala, but by Tamil Nadu. This is because of a treaty which was signed by the King of Travancore in 19th century by that of British, and under this a lease agreement was signed, and this dam has been given and to 999 years of lease to the state of Tamil Nadu, right? So this dam is operational by Tamil Nadu. This is being operated by Tamil Nadu, right? So these were the important facts regarding this dam, and let's solve this question now. With reference to Mullaperiyar Dam, consider the following statements. Statement 1 says, Mullaperiyar Dam is located in Tamil Nadu but operated by Kerala government. Now you know that this is interchange. The facts are interchanged. So this statement is incorrect, as Mullaperiyar Dam is located in Kerala but it is operated by Tamil Nadu, right? The second statement says that the dam is located on the confluence of Vaigai and Periyar river. Now this is also an incorrect statement, as this is located at the confluence of Mullaperiyar and Periyar river. Okay. Now we have to identify which of the above statement is or are correct. So we can say that none of these statements are correct. Okay. Now let's move on to our final MCQ for the day, which was inspired by this news article which appeared on page number 8 of Indian Express. So this news article is regarding how EVMs and postal ballots make their way to voters and back. This was regarding a controversy in Madhya Pradesh, right, regarding the safety and security of postal ballots. Though the context of this news article is not important for you, but you should know information regarding these terms, that what is EVM and what are postal ballots, and how is this voting system or voting facility available in India. Now why this is important is that UPSC asks questions regarding the process of elections in India, and regarding it there is a Representation of People Act, right? And regarding this act and regarding various other proceedings, UPSC asks questions. So we have framed this question, and this is regarding which among the following category of voters are eligible for postal ballots. Okay. Now before solving this question, let us first understand what is postal ballot. So postal ballot is a facility which is provided to some eligible voters in the country who may not be present physically at the time of polling in the polling booths. Okay. So as these voters may not be present physically at the time of polling, so they can use a special facility which is postal ballot facility. And in this facility, what they do is that they register themselves to the returning officer of their constituencies, right? And in turn they file an application that they want to vote, and then in this regard the returning officer sends them a ballot paper in mail, right? And which can be downloaded by these people, and then based on this paper they can mark their choices, and then they have to send this paper back to the returning officer of their constituency, right? And then these ballot papers are sealed and they are opened at the day of counting of the elections, at the day of counting of the result, right? So in this way some eligible voters can cast their votes. And who are these eligible voters? These are, number one, special voters. Special voters are the voters, they are people who are above the age of 80 years, right? And they may be people who are physically disabled, right? People with disabilities. So they come under special voters, right? The other kind of voters who can utilize this facility are service voters. Who are these voters? These are the people who are working in armed forces, CAPF, paramilitary forces, police forces, and various other government organizations which are mentioned by the government, right? And also they may be the voters who are on election duty, right? And interestingly, this is the most important and most tricky aspect of this question, that the facility can also be utilized by the voters who are on preventive detention. Now you know preventive detention. This is the detention preventing detention, the state can detain some people, right, on the basis of mere suspicion that these people may cause a threat to the national security. So under preventive detention, people are not convicted by court, but they are detained by the state under the suspicion that they can create any nonsense and they can be threat to national security of any nation, right? But these people who are under preventive detention, they can also utilize the facility of postal ballot, right? And also absentee voters, which are all which imply these category of voters only. And these absentee voters who are included under Section 60 of the Representation of People Act 1951 can also exercise this facility. Okay. Now let's solve this question based on this data. Consider the following category of voters, which among the above are eligible for postal ballots. The options are voters on election duty, voters in preventive detentions, and special voters. So all three category of voters are eligible for postal ballot, for voting by postal ballots. So the correct answer would be all three.